Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I've got two topics of discussion from Attorney John Deaton in this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam. I'll be starting with this one, in which Attorney John Deaton asks why SEC Supreme Leader and Dictator Kim Jong-Gary won't admit that Ethereum is not a security, and also gets into some interesting facts coming from Kim Jong-Gary, having to do with his perspective on Ripple and Ethereum and altcoins, actually, in general, back years ago, before he was chair of the SEC, and comments about coming into compliance. Think about that. Comments about coming into compliance, not comments back in 2018 when he was speaking, not comments about suing everyone into oblivion and regulating by enforcement. Very different Gary Gensler today compared to 2018. Also, there's a separate thread, and John Deaton talks about a number of things, including we need people in Congress to be sufficiently rooting for the crypto space and acting in such a way that will foster an environment that would ensure long-term viability of this crypto asset class in the United States specifically. Because look, it's not going away. I'm just talking about if we don't have leadership from the top supporting this, things could get very bad for crypto in the United States. And so John Deaton, he basically points out, the SEC's running out of options, frankly. And he said, and this is a quote, "Step by step, we are surrounding the SEC." So plenty to talk about, but I do want to be clear at the outset, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto topics, but just as a hobby, and just for fun. In we go. This is from Attorney John Deaton. Why won't Gary Gensler admit today's Ethereum is not a security? A brief thread providing the answer. And then he wrote, hint, if you own Ethereum, you won't like the answer. And I do own Ethereum, and I don't like the answer, but I want to know whatever reality is. And so John Deaton, just be clear, he's nailing this, but I don't care for it. He's definitely right about that. On April 23rd, 2018, Gary Gensler at MIT Business of Blockchain. And then he has little finger emojis pointing down to a video clip that was shared by XRP community member Leonidas, in which Gary Gensler is speaking. And John Deaton writes, then former CFTC chairman Gary Gensler. Yeah, actually I should have mentioned that for those of you not in the know. So yes, now Gary Gensler, he is the SEC chair, so he's running the whole SEC. He was actually, before that, running the CFTC. So he's had some major positions, let's say. And so anyway, John Deaton writes the following. Then former CFTC chairman Gary Gensler says there is not regulatory clarity in the digital asset markets, and, quote, for Ripple, end quote, and there needs to be clarity in the market. Sounds like a decent fair notice argument. Yeah, and actually even more interesting than that, I mean, maybe not more interesting, equally interesting. One of the things that Gary Gensler cited in the clip, I'm not going to play the clip, he said basically it's like there's a bunch of horses that got out of the barn. I think he said something like there's 1,000 horses out of the barn, whatever it may be, but we need to bring these horses into compliance. And I'm sitting here thinking, this is not what you're saying today. It's not about compliance. Right now, it's about sue everyone in crypto into oblivion, regulate by enforcement, pick winners and losers. That's what it is right now. That's what Kim Jong-Gary is actually leading today, as leader of a supreme leader of the SEC. That's what he's doing right here. But in this clip a few years ago, he had a much more reasonable approach. In fact, it made me think about Commissioner Hester Peirce's safe harbor proposal, and because he even said, he's like, look, I don't know if it means maybe we give them a year or whatever, have a discussion about it effectively, but some sort of path forward to bring these crypto projects into compliance. Where the hell's that kind of talk now? Now that he's at the SEC and running the damn thing, he's just going for quite the power grab. He doesn't care about what's best for investors or a path forward or making sure that the United States is a leader in the world of crypto. No, he doesn't care about any of that stuff. He is harming the entire space, and he frankly just doesn't give a damn. So he was stating, though, and he did acknowledge, he verbally stated, we need clarity. He specifically cited Ripple. That Ripple, meaning, of course, XRP, back then in 2018, did not have sufficient legal clarity. So how the hell could it be the case that Ripple should have known what they were doing was wrong when Gary Gensler, who is now the SEC chair, back then was saying, no, there's not clarity? How could that? That's why I keep saying that. Fair notice is such a huge freaking deal. Anyway, John Deaton continues. But despite Gary Gensler declaring that there was no clarity in the market for XRP or Ethereum, he is coming after all of crypto. Why should Ethereum holders be concerned? He was well aware of Joseph Lubin, Chris Dixon, and the secret meetings with the SEC for an Ethereum free pass. In the video below, Gensler scoffs that, quote, a group of venture capitalists that went in the SEC, and how they're sort of saying, believe us, we get you, we're with you, SEC. But we have a bunch of clients who are going to evolve to be a consumable token. And so Gary Gensler says, quote, I kind of don't think this is going to work, end quote. He doesn't think a token can start out as a security, but later develop into something different. Those are the words of our current SEC chairman. Maybe that's why he still hasn't read Hester Peirce's Safe Harbor. Yeah, which is why it's that much more confusing that years ago, he actually was saying, hey, the horses are out of the barn. Let's have a path forward. Let's lead them into compliance. What in the ever-loving hell, folks? I know. What in the ever-loving hell? One Gary should debate the other Gary. I don't know what to tell you. And then in the video below, Gensler states, quote, the market needs clarity, and that the uncertainty as to whether Ether is or is not a security, it could exist for months, but at some point in time, it is worthwhile to settle that down or have it fall into the courts. Even if you hate Ripple and dislike Brad Garlinghouse or Chris Larson, you would be a fool to support the enforcement action against them if you believe in any other token other than Bitcoin. Golf clap for Mr. Deaton on that one. Absolutely hitting the nail on the head. It's completely absurd. But, kind of on the bright side, the SEC kind of running out of options here. Step by step, we are surrounding them. The XRP community not letting up. Take a look at this. Connect to Congress is from Attorney John Deaton. My goal when I started crypto law was to help the individual investor. That's why late last year I launched Connect to Congress to help retail holders make themselves heard. Now I'm going to ask again that we speak up. Since launching Connect to Congress last October, over 11,000 messages have been sent to every sitting member of Congress, and many are responding. It is working. They are starting to pay attention. I believe what we need now is a focused action to help get answers about the glaring improprieties by the SEC that we've uncovered together, and that I've laid out on crypto law. The alarming evidence demonstrating serious conflicts of interest serve as the background for the attack on XRP. The attack and the Ethereum free pass cannot be ignored. It's too obvious, too troubling, and can't just live on social media alone. We need real action. We were meticulous in assembling the evidence, meticulous in gaining media attention for this story, and now must be meticulous in engaging Congress. Step by step, we are surrounding the SEC. Yeah, so let me just pause to note, and that's why I think a lot of what's going to happen this year, there's going to be an even stronger focus than before, focusing on Congress. We need support there. An increase in lobbying also. It should accompany that. John continues though. So here's the next logical step. We must press for an independent investigation by the banking committees of Congress, on which we know we have some friends of crypto. It can start with friendly lawmakers and staff, a hearing that is not required as of yet. This is where you come in. To help, I've drafted a short message for you to use that will automatically appear when you visit the app now. You can sign and send it as is, edit it, or completely rewrite it. The point, however, is to take focused action. So I ask that you work with us to be heard. Keep telling your stories like you have before. Let your lawmakers know just how much harm the SEC's senseless enforcement actions have caused you. Speak up. You have a right to be heard. I'm not anti-ethereum. At one point, it was my largest holding. I'm against tribalism. It's about fairness and accountability in our government. We need answers regarding the free pass and why XRP was targeted. The conflicts need to be looked into. Improprieties investigated. Please connect to Congress today and join in this focused action. Let's make our collected voices heard. And then he provides a link, which I'm going to go ahead and put in the description below. By the way, fun fact, Ethereum used to be my largest crypto holding as well. It is currently XRP by a long shot, but yes, there was once upon a time a period where Ethereum was my largest holding as well, and I do still hold Ethereum. I do not wish ill for Ethereum. I want it to do well, but we got to talk about this stuff. We're the ones that were forced into this position. But I'm going to wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.